been far too long since I reviewed anything on the PSP, so today we're going to look at an RPG called Brave Story. The story begins in the modern-day real world. Tatsuya is playing some kind of indistinguishable handheld console. Your friend Mickey is talking to you, but you were too absorbed into your game to notice. Meanwhile, her dog Kratos runs off after a frog. Mickey then goes chasing after him. Kratos comes back frantically barking, and takes you to Mickey, who's laying on the ground unconscious. The doctors at the hospital can't figure out what's wrong with her or if she'll ever wake up again. Tatsuya overhears this and runs off to the roof. The frog that the dog was chasing after appears behind him and tells Tatsuya that he must travel to the world of vision and track down 5 gemstones in order to save her. Upon entering Vision, Tatsuya is told that he has to go through the Cave of Trials. You start off by answering 4 questions, which determine your base stats. In the next room, you'll encounter a bird that gives you hints on how to solve the puzzle. You get told to flip the bird to bring the sunshine. Alright. Not sure what that accomplished, but okay. The bird also tells you that you'll never figure out the answer. You mean I'll never be able to figure out that I need to enter the 4 rooms and make all the statues face the door? Yeah, I've RPG'd before, and this puzzle is like kindergarten level for me. The plot for the most part is fairly predictable, but still enjoyable. A major issue I did have with the story, though, is how there were a couple of poorly executed plot twists. Of course, I won't spoil anything for you guys, but I will say there was a point about 2/3 of the way through the game when one of the main villains said something to your party. Something that makes you think. And nothing ever came of it. Later on, right at the end, something major was revealed. Something which should have been soul-crushing, but it ended up making 0 difference in the way things played out. The characters in Brave Story are a bit on the, hello, what have we here? I mean, characters are interesting.
Here we go!
Combat is the standard turn-based fare with a few fun things added in. Words flash on the screen whenever you strike an enemy, just like the old Batman show. Skadoosh. Kachika. Enemies don't just disappear when defeated, they get sent flying off the screen. If that wasn't cool enough, you will occasionally get bonus attacks after defeating an enemy. Another neat feature is that your characters level up during combat. What's great about this is your party members also learn new bravura skills when they level up, and these can be used immediately. For the most part, combat is good, but it can get really unbalanced at times. The team-up attacks, called Unity, are really overpowered, and your party gains back brave powers so quickly that you can spam the moves over and over again. However, you will sometimes encounter crazed monsters which have beefier stats and can easily kill a party member in 1 or 2 hits. It would have been nice if the Unity attacks and crazed monsters were balanced out a little bit better. Outside of battle, there are several things you can do, including making accessories, completing quests for NPCs, and cockfighting, actually, bird brawling. I really enjoyed taking part in the quests, and making accessories was great, especially since you can equip 3 at a time. I could not get into the bird brawling though. There is also a bird catching minigame, and you can trade your birds for items in each town. One super annoying thing about trading though was the fact that the top menu option is always a tutorial of sorts, which leads to an unskippable string of text. I can see having this there the first time you talk to one of these traders, but did it really need to be present for the entire game? Brave Story does really well in the graphics department. The world of Vision is bright and colorful, and has some great looking towns and dungeons. I loved all the character designs, except for Tatsuya. I don't mind having little kids in your party like in Lost Odyssey or Final Fantasy IV, but not as the main character that cannot be removed from your party. I might be okay with this baby-faced weenie if his appearance wasn't so bland. This has got to be the dullest main protagonist I've ever seen in an RPG, which is a stark contrast to the rest of your party, who all look great and are very colorful. Well, I guess his shoulder pads are kinda nice, and his helmet does do this cool thing at the start of battle. The game's audio is okay. The soundtrack doesn't have a lot of memorable tunes, but it was decent enough. Voice clips during battle can get a bit repetitive, but at least they give you the option for Japanese during combat. There wasn't a ton of voice acting in the rest of the game, but what was present was usually pretty good. Brave Story is a solid RPG experience for the PSP. While there wasn't any aspect of it that I found amazing, it was definitely enjoyable and a game I would recommend to any PSP RPG fan. Prices for complete copies tend to vary and range from $30 to $50. If that's a bit much for you, you can also find it on the DS or PlayStation 2, although those versions were only released in Japan. And that will do it for this one. As always, I want to thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you next time.